Ever get that feeling like you're going in circles? That's kind of what Dark feels like. It's a show about time travel, but not the typical kind with like spaceships and all that futuristic stuff.
Right, yeah.
It's more like imagine a small town where the past, present, and future, they're all tangled up.
Yeah, like a big knot.
Exactly.
And at the heart of it all is this town, Winden, Germany. It looks totally normal, ordinary.
Yeah.
But underneath it all, there's this secret, a portal, a way to travel through time.
Okay, so time travel. Got it.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Right off the bat, the show throws you into this mystery. Kids start disappearing.
Uh-huh.
And not just in the present day,
Yeah.
like 2019, but in 1986 and 1953, too.
Wow.
Wild, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the thing is, the show connects these disappearances.
Yeah.
It's not just about kids vanishing. It's about, like, the ripples those disappearances make across time. Like you drop a pebble in a pond, those ripples spread out.
Yeah.
Dark takes that idea and applies it to time travel.
Right.
And a perfect example of this is the disappearance of this kid, Mikkel Nielsen.
Okay.
Happens in 2019. His dad, Ulrich,
Yeah.
he becomes, well, obsessed with finding him.
Right.
And that leads him down this rabbit hole. Time travel, family secrets, the whole deal.
Oh, wow.
And we see how Ulrich's actions in the past, they could actually be connected to what's happening in the present. And that's where these paradoxes come in.
Paradoxes, yeah.
The paradoxes are what makes this show so mind-bending. I mean, think about it. Ulrich goes back to 1953.
Right.
He thinks he can stop these disappearances from happening. But what if his actions in the past are actually what's causing them?
Oh, wow.
It's a classic time travel dilemma. Can you even change the past? Or are you just messing things up even more?
Right.
And it really makes you think, are we really in control of our own lives? Or are we just like playing out a story that's already been written?
It's a big question.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's Jonas. He's our main character. He's dealing with, well, his dad's suicide.
Yeah.
And trying to understand that pulls him into the middle of this whole mystery.
Oh, wow.
And talk about family secrets.
Yeah.
We find out Jonas's dad, Michael Conwald, he's actually Mikkel Nielsen,
No way.
the kid who disappeared in 2019 and went back to 1986.
Oh, hold on. That's confusing.
It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
It completely changes how Jonas sees his own life. His dad is this missing kid from the future, and the girl he's falling for, Martha.
Yeah.
She's technically his aunt now.
Oh, my gosh.
The family tree in this show is seriously messed up,
That's crazy.
but it's more than just some shocking secret. It makes Jonas question everything, his whole life, his family, like his place in all of this. It's like the show's asking, if Mikkel never went back in time, would Jonas even exist?
Whoa.
Makes you think about the butterfly effect, you know?
Yeah.
How the smallest thing can change the future in huge ways.
Absolutely.
And all these paradoxes and family secrets, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Really?
This show is packed with clues and mysteries. Like, what's the deal with those dead birds?
Dead birds.
Yeah, they keep showing up. And they all have these burst eardrums,
That's creepy.
right?
Yeah.
It's like Dark is using these symbols to hint at something bigger. They show up in different time periods, so maybe it means the events are connected somehow.
Yeah.
And the burst eardrums, maybe it means something is disrupting the natural order of things.
That makes sense.
And then there's this book, A Journey Through Time.
Okay.
Seems like a regular sci-fi book, but it plays a big part in the story. The author, H.G. Canhouse,
Yeah.
he ends up having this weird connection to everything happening in Winden,
So the book is like a blueprint for the time travel.
maybe, or even a prophecy of what's going to happen.
Oh, wow.
And don't even get me started on the number 33.
What about it?
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And it seems super important, like it has something to do with the time travel cycles.
Mm.
It's like the show wants you to figure out its secrets.
It's like a puzzle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's not all just confusing riddles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The show also digs into the characters' stories,
Yeah.
their relationships, what they're going through, their secrets.
Okay.
We see how the events in Winden are affecting them, you know? Like Ulrich is desperate to find his son, and he starts making these reckless choices.
Uh-huh.
And Jonas is dealing with his family's past and not knowing what his future holds.
All right.
And then there are the characters who seem to be in control of everything. Like Noah, this mysterious priest.
Oh, yeah.
He pops up in all three time periods. It's like he's manipulating people and events to get what he wants.
Interesting.
And then Claudia Tiedemann, she used to run the power plant.
Right.
She seems to really understand how the time travel works.
Okay.
Like she's playing this long game that we're just starting to see.
Yeah.
It's like we're watching a play, but we have no idea who the director is or how it's going to end.
Right.
And that's part of what makes it so addictive. We're always trying to figure out who to trust, what everyone's motives are, and how it all connects.
Yeah, it keeps you guessing.
Totally. So by the end of season 1, we're left with Jonas stuck in this post-apocalyptic 2052. Ulrich is trapped in 1953.
Oh, wow.
And we have a ton of unanswered questions.
Like, what happens next?
Yeah, exactly. It's a total cliffhanger. You need to know what happens next, how these characters are going to deal with this mess of time and fate.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But that's just the beginning. If you like shows that are part mystery, part sci-fi, and part family drama, Dark is definitely worth watching.
Sounds intense.
Oh, it is. Just be prepared to have your mind blown.
I bet.
Yeah.
Okay, so buckle up.
Exactly.
Season 1 left us hanging, right? Jonas in this messed up future, Ulrich stuck in the past, and more questions than answers. But Season 2, it takes us even deeper. It throws in a whole other time period, 1921.
Wait, 1921. I thought we were dealing with 2019, 1986, and 1953. Now we're going even further back.
Yeah, Dark likes to keep us guessing. It's like they thought 3 time periods aren't enough to confuse people. Let's add another one just for fun.
Okay, so 1921. Who are we meeting back then?
We meet a younger Noah, the priest, remember? He's not the same guy we saw before, though. This Noah's not all-knowing and sinister. He's actually working with someone, a guy named Adam, who leads this group called Sic Mundus.
Sic Mundus. That sounds familiar. Didn't we see that somewhere?
Yeah. That creepy door Jonas found in the caves. It had that inscription. Sic Mundus creatus est means thus the world was created. This group, they seem to really understand time travel, and they're working towards something big. But what they're really after, it's still a mystery, at least for most of the season.
Okay, so we've got Noah and Adam scheming in 1921. What about everyone else? Where do Jonas, Ulrich, and Claudia fit into all this?
Well, Ulrich, he's still stuck in 1953, trying to figure out how to get back to his time. And while he's there, he finds something, a connection to those missing kids. Remember Hell Joppler, the strange guy who always seems to be around when they disappear?
Yeah, I remember him.
We learn more about him, his past, and how he's connected to Noah and everything else happening in Winden.
It's like every character has this secret, something that connects them to the bigger mystery. You can't tell who to trust or what they're really up to.
Right. And that brings us to Claudia Tateman. Remember her, the former director of the power plant.
Yeah, she was pretty mysterious.
She's still traveling through time, trying to learn things, gather resources. But it's not clear whose side she's on. Is she helping Jonas, trying to stop Adam? Or is she doing her own thing?
It's hard to tell with Claudia. Just when you think you've figured her out, she throws you a curveball.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Jonas is in that future wasteland, 2052, trying to figure out what happened and how to get back to his own time.
And what about that other Martha? The one who showed up at the end of season 1. Is she from a different timeline, another dimension? What's her deal?
That's what Dark does so well. It throws in these crazy twists that leave you stunned. Another Martha. It could mean there are multiple worlds, alternate realities. Like time travel wasn't complicated enough already. Now we have to worry about parallel universes.
Okay, so on top of time travel paradoxes and messed up family trees, now we've got the multiverse. This show is a lot to keep track of.
It is, but that's why it's so good. It's like a puzzle you can't put down. Every episode throws you new clues and stuff that change how you see things.
So season 2 just keeps going, right? More twists, more mind-blowing stuff. It dives into what Noah and Adam are really trying to do. It turns out they want to cause an apocalypse and create a new world, one without time.
And remember that symbol, the triquetra, those 3 loops?
Yeah.
We learn more about what it means, how it represents the past, present, and future being connected, and maybe even the idea of multiple worlds.
Okay.
And we get more info on how time travel actually works. The show brings in this idea of the God particle. It's this powerful energy source that makes the wormhole work, the one that lets people travel through time. Dark's like building its own mythology here, its own rules for how time travel works.
Interesting. So it's got sci-fi, but it also makes you think about deeper stuff,
Yeah.
like philosophy and stuff.
Exactly. It uses these big ideas about time and reality to ask questions about free will, fate, even what it means to exist. Big stuff.
Makes you think. So season 2 also tells us more about that clock mater, H.G. Tannhaus, the one who wrote A Journey Through Time.
Right.
It's really sad, actually. His son, daughter-in-law, and granddaughter, they all die in an accident. And he's so heartbroken that he builds a time machine. He wants to find them in a parallel world to change what happened.
It's a reminder that even the smartest people can make mistakes, especially when they're hurting. And through his story, we start to understand how the time loop started in the first place.
So he's the one who messed everything up, trying to change his own fate.
You could say that. It's like a warning about messing with time. Your actions can have consequences you never intended. His experiment went wrong, and it created a link between these two worlds. Now they're both trapped in this endless cycle.
Whoa, that's intense.
Mm-hmm.
The fate of two entire worlds because one man was grieving. That's a whole new way to look at the butterfly effect.
Right. It shows how connected everything is. What happens in one world can change another, even across dimensions.
So how does season 2 end? Does Jonas, or Adam, I guess, get what he wants? Does he destroy the world? What about the parallel worlds? Do they get unraveled? I need to know.
It ends with a bang, literally. The world's about to end, all thanks to Sic Mundus. Jonas is back in his own time, but it doesn't really matter. And then, just as the apocalypse is happening, another version of Martha appears.
Another one.
Yeah, but this one seems to be from a different dimension. It's like the show's saying, get ready, things are about to get even crazier. And that's where season 3 picks up.
All right, so we've got parallel worlds, an apocalypse about to happen, and two Marthas running around. Season 3 of Dark, it doesn't just up the ante, it blows the whole game wide open. And all those mysteries we've been trying to figure out finally start getting some answers.
Yeah, it's like all the pieces of this crazy puzzle start falling into place. But the clearer the picture gets, the weirder and more disturbing it becomes.
And the biggest reveal has got to be who Adam really is. The guy behind Sic Mundus, that creepy figure pulling all the strings. Turns out it's Jonas. But an older Jonas, all messed up and stuff.
Yeah, that was a huge shock. The Jonas we've been following, the one who's trying to stop the cycle, he becomes the very thing he's fighting against.
It's kind of like a Greek tragedy or something, battling your own destiny.
So how does Jonas go from trying to save everyone to wanting to destroy everything?
It's not really about destruction. It's more like a twisted kind of salvation. Adam thinks the only way to end all the pain and suffering from the time loop is to wipe everything clean. Start fresh. Make a new world where time doesn't matter anymore.
So he's become this villain because he's heartbroken. I mean, yeah, all this time travel stuff has messed everyone up pretty bad. But an apocalypse seems a little extreme.
Dark really forces you to think about good and evil, how it's not always black and white. Adam is the way he is because of all the pain he's gone through. He thinks what he's doing is right, even if it means sacrificing everything. So where does Claudia fit into all this? She's been playing her own game for a while now.
Claudia, she's the wild card. She sees the big picture like a tapestry of time with all the threads woven together. She's trying to stop Adam, but not by destroying everything. She thinks there's another way to break the cycle.
It's like she's playing chess with time, moving all these pieces around. But it's hard to tell what she's really after until the very end.
And this is where it gets even more mind-blowing. Remember all that talk about parallel worlds? Well, season 3 confirms that there are actually 2 realities. Mirror images of each other, but somehow connected.
Wait, so the characters are stuck in a battle that started in another world?
Yeah, exactly. It all goes back to H.G. Tannhaus, the clockmaker from Winden. In one world, something awful happens. His son, his daughter-in-law, and his granddaughter, they all die in an accident. He's devastated. So he builds this time machine because he wants to find them in a parallel world. He wants to undo this terrible tragedy.
So he's the one who accidentally created the time loop, trying to change his own fate.
It's like a lesson about messing with time. Even the smartest people can have good intentions, but still mess things up. Tannhaus's experiment goes wrong and creates a bridge between these 2 worlds. Now they're both stuck in this never-ending loop.
That's heavy stuff. 2 worlds in danger because of one man's grief. Talk about the butterfly effect.
Right, and in a way, it shows how everything is connected. Something that happens in one world can have a huge impact on another, even if they're in different dimensions.
So what about the ending? Does Jonas, or Adam, I guess, get what he wants? Does he make this new world? What happens to the parallel worlds? Do they get fixed? Tell me.
The ending, it's sad, but it's hopeful too. Claudia, with the help of Jonas and Martha from the other world, they manage to close the bridge between the 2 realities. It stops the loop from happening, but it also means that Winden and everyone in it will cease to exist.
So it's a victory, but it's bittersweet. All the characters we've gotten to know, they're gone. But the loop is broken, and both worlds are free to move on.
Yeah, and in the last moments of the show, we see a world without Winden. A world where most of these characters never even existed, but it's a world where there's still love, connection, and a chance for a better future.
Wow. It's like a reminder that even in the midst of all this chaos and loss, there's still hope. There's always a chance for a new beginning. Dark is more than just a time travel show. It's a show that makes you think about life, death, destiny, and how connected we all are.
Definitely. It's a show that makes you pay attention, think hard, and question everything you thought you knew about reality. If you're into shows that make you think and feel at the same time, Dark is definitely worth checking out. Just be prepared to have your mind blown. Maybe keep a notebook handy to keep track of all the twists and turns.
And if you enjoyed this breakdown of Dark, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into your favorite TV shows. We'll see you next time.